Welcome back, and it's early Friday morning recording this just after Shakur Stevenson won a unanimous decision against Edwin De Los Santos to win the WBC belt in a fight that was a complete snooze fest. One of the most boring fights that you will watch, not just this year, but probably over the next 5 years. This was one of the most boring fights as both fighters did nothing. There's no other way to say it. Both fighters did very little in this fight. Edwin De Los Santos only landed 40 punches in this fight as he took the loss to Shakur in a fight that I'm still trying to wrap my head around, as I had said in my preview that I believe Shakur needed to make a statement. He made a statement, all right. It was a bad one. His stock has completely dropped from this fight, and I'm not sure where Shakur goes after this, right? Obviously, he's a great talent. Shakur is a great talent, but Edwin De Los Santos was said to be his first test. He might have got the win. One scorecard had it 115 to 113, so they had him winning by a round. The other two had it 116 to 112, winning by, was that 2 rounds, I believe? He might have won the fight, but he flunked the test. He looked awful tonight. It looked like he finally got matched up against someone with some power, and he didn't know what to do. He was scared. It looked like he was scared and running away from De Los Santos, who had the power. Shakur mentioned it right after the fight. In his post-fight interview, said he had a bad performance. ESPN kept saying he had a hand injury. That might be the case. We might find out something later on that he did have a hand injury. But I'm judging what was in that ring, and that was a poor performance by Shakur Stevenson. Every time, and I tweeted this, you can follow me on Backman Sports. I was live tweeting the fight. Granted, I wasn't tweeting much because there was no action. I tweeted that Shakur, every time Edwin punched, the way he was ducking and running and moving backwards, it looked the same way that Ryan Garcia was moving and was petrified of Tank Davis after Tank knocked him out. Go back and look at it. The way he'd move and backtrack, it looked like he was absolutely scared of De Los Santos' power. And on the flip side, De Los Santos really didn't do too much. He had some nice punches, but so did Shakur. They really only had one back and forth, and that was in the 9th round, and that did nothing. De Los Santos was saying in the interview he won. Shakur was on a track meet. Well, Shakur was not doing too much, but it wasn't like Santos was doing anything too much either. The way Shakur looked in this fight, it was troubling because, again, it looked like he finally faced someone with power, and he didn't know what to do. He needed a statement win, and he got the exact opposite. His stock has dropped from this fight. Heck, you can even look at different boxers, what they're tweeting. Ryan Garcia said if he was at the fight, he would be asking for his money back. Devin Haney said, I should have offered him 10%. Then he talked about how ESPN made him to be this boogeyman. Well, if you're the boogeyman and putting on that performance, what kind of boogeyman is that? That's nothing. Which ESPN, and I believe other people will try and convince you that the way Shakur fought in this fight, he outboxed him. Tim Bradley brought up Floyd Mayweather, saying it was a boxing lesson. Please do not let that confuse you and convince you that Shakur dominated this fight. Shakur might have outboxed Santos, but he did nothing offensively. They said going into the 12th round, no fighter had landed double-digit punches in a round. I'm sorry, against a Tank or a Devin Haney, that can't happen, and we're measuring up Shakur to these guys because that's what he wants to be measured up to. And he's proven he has the talent to be measured up to those fighters, but tonight was the complete opposite of a performance that he needed. And he knows it, and I think he'll be better for it. But right now, it looks bad for Shakur. He probably lost a good number of fans because you got to think, so a lot of the fans that were there at that fight were there for F1 saying, hey, let's go to check this out. They were booing from the 2nd round on. I saw videos, people were leaving the arena. It looked bad. And again, I like Shakur. I think Shakur is going to be really good. Heck, he is really good. I think Shakur has the makings to be great. He has a great team around him. Terrence Crawford, Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. But tonight was awful. In the boxing community, he has noticed. I mentioned Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis. Well, he didn't say necessarily anything about Shakur. He retweeted what Devin Haney said about that he should have offered Shakur only 10%. Tank said, that's what I'm going to offer you, Devin. So, hey, maybe that means Tank versus Devin. I think right now that's the better fight. But Shakur has talked so much on Twitter and all the things he said. The fact that this is his performance, it's going to be rough for him for a while. And I think he'll bounce back. I think whoever he faces next, he'll have a really good performance. But he was not able to back up anything that he said, saying he was the boogeyman, the most skilled, the best 135. I think we can put all those to bed right now, saying he's not. He might well be in a couple years, but at this moment, he's not. And I can't put him over a Tank or a Haney. Right now, out of those three, he's third on the list. Again, just an absolute snooze fest of a fight on a Thursday night. That's how you should have known it was going to go bad, being on a Thursday night. The boxing community, the boxing world, the sports world was not a fan of this performance. And while some people are going to say Shakur outboxed Santos, Santos, again, didn't really do anything to win this fight. I'm not saying Santos should have won this fight. Shakur won this fight in the worst possible fashion you can win a fight. I think Shakur will be back. I think he'll learn. He'll be better than ever. This is going to be in the back of people's minds when they think about Shakur from now on. It was a bad look for him, and we have to see what he does in the future. I'm excited, but this performance against Edwin De Los Santos was not good. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It was not good. A complete snooze fest. And we'll see. Does a fight against Loma, Frank Martin come into play now? Because I personally don't think he's going to get Tank or Haney next. I think he's going to have to rebuild his stock, maybe with a Loma fight. We'll see. 2024, I think, is going to be a good year for boxing. It's been the Never Drop Podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below what you think of Shakur Stevenson's performance. Who do you think he's going to fight next? Let me know. Make sure you follow Never Drop Podcast on all your streaming platforms where you get podcasts. Links are in the description. And yeah, tough night for Shakur. Got the victory, but in the worst possible fashion. That's all I got for you. Peace. I'm out.